Before we get underway, I'll just remind everyone that while the train's in motion, please remain seated, keeping your hands, legs, arms, head, and feet inside the train at all times, and please no eating or drinking except for water. And if you do have little ones with you, we do ask that the adults please sit at the end of the row. If that's not practical, then please make sure the kids are held or are easily within your reach. Thank you. As we start to leave the Firestone station, let's wave goodbye to Tom. He's our station master. Thank you, Tom. And we're now beginning a 30-minute trip around the inside perimeter of Greenfield Village. We will be making 2 stops along the way. One in our Susquehanna station, which is where we're heading to right now. And then we'll be stopping at Smith's Creek before we return to Firestone Station. Now, Greenfield Village covers some 80 acres of land here in Greenfield Village, or in Dearborn, I should say. And we have nearly 100 buildings that are open for you to visit, and many of them have presenters inside. We'll be happy to talk to you about the building and about the people who either live in the building or work there. Now, Greenfield Village has 7 historic districts, and we're entering the first historic district right now. This is Henry Ford Model T district. And that white farmhouse up ahead is the birthplace of Henry Ford. He was born in one of the upstairs bedrooms on July 30th of 1863. Now, the farm was originally located in the area of Ford Road and Greenfield Roads here in Dearborn. It's about 3 miles away from where we are today. And originally, the farm was about 140 acres. And while young Henry Ford was born on a farm and raised on a farm, he did not enjoy farm work. In fact, at the age of 16, he wound up leaving the farm so that he could work in the machine shops of Detroit. And from there, the rest is history. Now, as you pass the farmhouse, you can see down Main Street. There we have such buildings as the Wright Brothers Cycle Shop, which many consider to be the birthplace of aviation. There's also the Wright Brothers Home. There's also the Ford Motor Company Mack Avenue plant. It's a scaled-down version of the original. And behind it is a loading dock where you can get the ride on one of our model vehicles. And we're now coming into the Thomas Edison at Work District. And you can see a statue of Thomas Edison on the left-hand side. He is seated over there, and he's probably thinking about his next invention. Or else he's looking at the custard shop that sells some really wonderful tasting custard. Now, the large parade building on the left is the Menlo Park Laboratory. This is where Edison developed the incandescent light bulb along with the phonograph and many, many other inventions. In fact, during his lifetime, Edison accumulated 1,093 U.S. patents because of his inventions. Now, the mustard-colored building on our left is the Sarah Jordan boarding house. This is where many of Edison's unmarried male employees would stay. And it's one of the first residences in the world to be wired with electric lights. Now, next door to the boarding house is a small gray building, which is the Fort Myers Laboratory. This is the original building. A copy of the building is actually in Fort Myers, Florida, but this is where Edison continued to do research and development, and he was trying to find an alternative source for natural rubber, as he felt the United States was too dependent on foreign sources. And right now we're in the Porches and Parlors district, the gateway to the district. This is Hackley Covered Bridge. Built in 1832, it was located in southwest Pennsylvania, where it went over the Wheeling Creek. Now, Porches and Parlors features a number of homes that individuals have lived in over the years, and they each give you some ideas about the lifestyles and traditions of the people who lived in them, as well as the times in which they were occupied. Now, the oldest building in the village is at the top of the hill on our left. It's that limestone building up there. It's the Cotswold Cottage. It was built in 1620 in England, and Henry Ford was very fond of that type of architecture, as was his wife, Clara. In fact, they were on the lookout for one that they could actually purchase, and this is the one that they found. And they bought it. Goodbye to Pat. She's our station master here. Thank you, Pat. And we're now moving further into our Porches and Parlors district. And this large white building on our left is the Susquehanna Plantation House. This was built around 1835 in the Tidewater region of Maryland. It was part of a 700-acre plantation that grew wheat, corn, and tobacco. It also had 65 enslaved individuals who worked on the plantation. Now, the oldest American home here in the village is this reddish-colored one. It's the Plimpton family home, built in 1640 in South Sudbury, Massachusetts. Now, if you can imagine, 2 adults and 7 children live in this one-room building. And here's the Ferris windmill. It's the oldest windmill in the United States. It was built in the mid-1600s on the north shore of Cape Cod. And there's the Daggett farmhouse. This was built in 1754 in Coventry, Connecticut. It's an example of rural living in colonial America. And we do have presenters who are in the building, and they can tell you what life was like back in those early colonial days. And here's our horse paddock area. This is where we bring our horses at. They've been pulling wagons and carriages. Here they have a chance to rest and relax and get ready for the next time they're called upon to work in Massachusetts, and was originally used by the Calumet and Hecla Mining Company in Michigan's Upper Peninsula. In fact, they used to work in the Keweenaw Peninsula, in the Upper Peninsula, and the company used it to pull railroad cars loaded with copper ore. Now, the Torch Lake weighs in at 35 tons, holding up to 1,200 gallons of water in its tender and 1 ton of gold. Now, on the other side of the road to our right is the Ford Motor Company tester. They test cars and trucks for make sure they're and right now, it's not talking. Late 1800s and early 1900s, rock rails with steam powered coal burning locomotive going the train.
Should have brought a chicken. The smoothest footage they ever got was they strapped a camera on the head of a chicken.
Yeah, because
Yeah. I thought that was awesome. I should have brought a chicken.
Now you might be wondering what our locomotive is just doing, what it just did. That's what we call a blowdown. Try to blow up and by getting rid of as much of that as I can, that helps the efficiency of the operation. And right now we're coming into the Oxbow area. This is an 11-acre wetlands restoration area, the largest of its kind here in southeastern Michigan. And this is where the Henry Ford, along with state and local units of government, are working to restore the Rouge River to its natural condition. Now you can see the river on the right-hand side, and it is below us. And you'll notice it does have natural river banks. Not too far from and if you can see through the smoke, you'll see the Walnut Grove area. This is our special event field. In fact, you can see the markings of a baseball diamond over here on the left-hand side. And that's because on Saturdays and Sundays during the summer, our 2 vintage baseball teams, the Lonnie Dons and the Nationals, play baseball here. And they play according to rules written back in 1867. And among other things, those rules will tell you that a fielder cannot wear a baseball glove. He's got to catch the ball with his bare hands. That's why they're right now up to the left is the Henry Ford Academy.
I guess this used to be a station.
It's over your student.
I guess this used to be a station. It's all the same height as the boards.
We have about 500 students attending.
Yeah, it's gone.
And they are in grades 9 through 12. So ninth grade actually has a class or Museum of American Innovation. And the 11th through 12th graders have their. And we're now passing about the railroad Pullman cars, and they're used by our seniors. Here they'll take classes in English and mathematics, as well as other subjects. And here's the Swan to our left, and facing the water overflow. as you might imagine, the lagoon area does attract a lot of ducks, geese, and other wonderful birds. But there's a lot of turtles in here as well. In fact, on a sunny day like today, you'll often see turtles basking in the sunshine on branches and logs that are floating in the water. Now, you want to it's a large snake, that's as large as garbage can, and we fondly call him Zilla. You see the it's often used for weddings. Now, Henry Ford did after his mother, Mary Ford, and his mother-in-law, Martha Bride. And right now we're passing the Taste of History. It's now a restaurant, and there's a hot lunch between 11 and 3, and so let's go way up until 5 o'clock. Hi to Kaylee, she's our station master. Thank you, Kaylee. And we're now moving into our Railroad Junction district here at Greenfield Village. And the first building you're going to see is our Smiths Creek Depot. This was built in 1858. It was located in the small Michigan town of Smiths Creek, which is up by Port Huron. It was on the Grand Trunk Railroad line that ran from Port Huron. And right now we're passing the Smiths Creek Depot built in 1858. And there's our conductor Mike, and our presenter who works in the building here, that's Mary Ann. Now our newest addition to Greenfield Village is that open air market on our left. That's the vegetable building. It was originally built in 1860. It was located in downtown Detroit. It started in Detroit Central Market. They used to sell vegetables, fruits, and flowers out of that location. And right now we're approaching the Detroit, Toledo, and Milwaukee Roundhouse. This is where we service and maintain our steam locomotives as well as our diesel and our rolling stock. Now our roundhouse opened up in the year 2000 and is based on a roundhouse that was built in Marshall, Michigan back in 1884. That one remained in use until the 1930s. At that point it closed down and became a furnace factory for a brief period. And ultimately the building was abandoned and began to deteriorate. We were able to secure some of the parts of the original roundhouse and use them in the construction of our roundhouse here. Now on the other side of these pine trees is our Liberty Craftworks area. Here we have skilled artisans who do such things as glass blowing, pottery making, weaving, and
Tractor will outpull any tractor we have.
Visit to Liberty Craftworks while you're here in the village today. And we're now coming into our working farm district. And on the right-hand side, you can see a small orchard featuring heirloom apples. And up ahead on the left, you can see our field corn. In fact, our field corn seems to be doing quite well. It's as high and round and dry. And we also grow winter wheat, rye, and hay. Now to the right up ahead is the Firestone Farmhouse. Behind that is the Firestone Barn. The house was built in 1828 in Columbia, Ohio. Here are some of our farm workers right now. Now the farmhouse is where Hardy Firestone was born. Hardy went on to create the Firestone Tire and Rubber Company. In fact, in 1906, he and Henry Ford reached an agreement where Firestone would buy tires for the Ford Motor Company as it was producing a lot of these. And you can see some of our sheep on the left. We do have some cows here as well. And we have chickens and turkeys, horses, and other critters on our farm. Right now we're pulling up to our Firestone station. We'll be stopping here for 8 minutes. And you'll be able to exit the train on the right-hand side. But please remain seated until the train stops and you hear the train whistle. The whistle indicates that the engineer has applied the air